Hi Wildings, welcome to or welcome back to the Wilding Astro Tarot YouTube channel for another intuitive tarot reading. I'm really excited to read for you guys today. I felt called to jump on and do a messages for you reading. I feel like it's been a while since I've done one of these. I've done a lot of relationship type readings recently, so I wanted to do a reading that's like more like let's stay in our own lane and worry about what we can do for ourselves today. So yeah, I think I want to start doing maybe a few more of these. Let me know if you like this type of reading in the comments, if you want me to do more of them. I know a lot of people that follow me do follow me for relationship readings, so yeah, let me know if this is your vibe, if you'd like me to add more of these into the mix. But we'll get more into detail about exactly how this reading is going to work and the details in a moment when we finish setting up our ritual space, which it looks like we're just about finished with. So yeah, let's get into today's reading. Okay, Wildings, let's get into today's reading. We have a pick a card reading for messages that you need to hear right now. I'm manifesting anyone whose guides have been trying to get through to them in some way, to bring those people here to get messages, whatever it is that your guides have been trying to communicate with you, or something that has just, popped up that they'd like to communicate with you. So yeah, I'm hoping this reaches everyone who these messages are intended for. If you would like to help these messages reach more people, you can always like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with whoever you think might benefit from a tarot reading. Yeah, as I mentioned in the intro, it's going to be like staying in our own lane. Like, what do we really need to focus on at the moment? I know it's been a minute since I've done one of these videos, but yeah, that's what I felt called to channel. Is there anything else I need to say? I don't really think so. Yeah, so whenever you're ready, going ahead and choosing pile 1, 2, or 3 to get your channeled messages from your guides today. Anything that you need to know, especially anything that you're not like aware of, or you just need a fresh perspective on, or just like need something kind of reworded or reframed. We'll be getting all of those kinds of messages today. I will leave you a little freeze frame in a moment for you to pause on, ponder on, if you need a little bit more time to choose your pile. Today's reading, we won't do as many energy clarifications. I'll try and do a little bit of energy clarification right at the start. But yeah, you're just gonna have to go with your intuition and see what passes the vibe check today. So whenever you're ready, choosing pile 1, 2, or 3, and wherever you end up, I'll see you there in a moment. Hey there, pile 1. Welcome to your reading for what your guides want you to know, any perspective or reframing that you need right now. So if you chose this beautiful moonstone, then this reading is probably for you. And let's get straight into it with our astrology deck. Could you please have messages for pile 1 in regards to anything that their guides really want them to know or reframe, get a different perspective on, be aware of. Okay, so there's a good chance that what your guides want you to know right now is that it's really important for you to kind of either forgive and forget, let go, drop some resistance with some things in your life, particularly in relation to travel, relationships, personal development, your kind of like soul work or career, or kind of maybe more material and financial goals, as well as any soul contracts that you might have with people, anything that you feel like kind of needs to be worked out with people, dropping that resistance, and also maybe friendship or social media. Those are the main themes that it seems like there needs to be this kind of like maybe reframing, changing perspective, just shifting where you're currently at with these things right now, or with one of those things, practicing some of the occults like astrology, tarot, and any other divination that you're like really into might be helpful for you to shift your perspective on one or all of these things right now, so that you can create a better channel for your own blessings to reach you. It seems like there's some sort of block when it comes to one or all of these themes in reaching you. Perhaps there was like maybe a dark night of the soul, or just like an intense period of like kind of going through it and sorting some stuff out, and maybe things got a little bit dark and dirty for a while, but it was just the universe like trying to shift some stuff around, and it's now time to kind of like reopen. I think it's important. I don't think the universe wanted you to take that personally. Maybe some of you are like taking that shift personally, like feeling like things were being taken away from you, when really it was just things reshuffling to meet maybe deeper goals and desires of yours that you were unpacking or uncovering throughout that period for you. So yeah, this is especially relevant to anyone with dominant Capricorn, Aquarius, Sagittarius, Scorpio and Libra placements in particular. Yeah, it seems like things need to shift in these areas to allow your blessings to kind of find their way in now. Like there was maybe some delay. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn can be a very delaying energy. And Aquarius is also traditionally ruled by Saturn. So there was some sort of like delaying energy, some sort of like restriction on these things for a while. But it was really about sorting out karma and lessons. And it's not something that you need to necessarily take forward with you. So yeah, Spirit would really like you to really practice detachment. And that's not to say you can't be like passionate and full of desire, because definitely that desire kind of reorientated you with these things. It's just really letting go of like control of like how things should happen in your head, like really letting things come to you as the universe intends, probably in a way that's maybe bigger and better than what the ego self or the mind can imagine. So yeah, like really I would say it's more of a surrender, even than a letting go. Like really surrendering to what is, surrendering to the process, surrendering to what has to fall away in order for space to be created for the newness to arrive. But let's get maybe some more specifics using our tarot. What specifics do you want, pile 1 to know, please? What specifics do you have for pile 1, please? Okay, so the card's really asking you for more resting, for more allowing, for more kind of like going with the flow and allowing things to play out. We have the Four of Swords in reverse, which upright it's more of a rest and renewal energy, so I'm sensing there's probably some resistance to that energy given that it came out in reverse. Maybe trying to make things happen too quickly, or trying to make things happen with the mind or the ego or the willpower. When you've manifested things being drawn towards you through attraction, and it's kind of like messing up that manifestation by trying to pull things towards you that aren't necessarily aligned with what you're manifesting. Like there's some sort of resistance there that's kind of like just pulling from maybe a place of either impatience or insecurity, or just like maybe not fully trusting and surrendering to the process. It seems like you have been through it. You've definitely been through some sort of like dark night of the soul, some sort of period of awakening, some sort of like kind of like starting from scratch in a sense, like really stripping everything down to its raw bones and figuring out a lot of stuff about you, a lot of stuff about life, a lot of stuff about like your health, work, service, like all of that sort of stuff. And Spirit's essentially asking you to like really trust all of that hard work that you've been doing. Trust that like all the unpacking is like shifting your vibration. It's like changing how things were aligning for you. And it's creating a lot of space for just like bigger blessings to arrive in your life. The Ace of Pentacles, the Pentacle suit deals with all things like manifestation. So anything coming into the physical to do with like the body, health, finances, career, success, anything materializing. So it's really a card to say like all the manifestations are happening, especially when it comes out upright. The thing with the Pentacle suit is like it's all about things manifesting really from this place of like real soulfulness, especially the Ace of Pentacles. It's like all this stuff has been put in place. There's like this soulful manifestation that's on its way to you. It's just important that you kind of like allow it to arrive in the way that it needs to arrive, and not rush it. Like really enjoy the unfolding, enjoy the process, and like really trust the process. This Four of Cups energy, this is really about like, you can kind of see from this artwork, like this is a place of like enjoying everything that life has to offer you, trusting that like the nature of life is to bring all of your desires to you, especially to do with like all the feely feels, like anything you might feel, desire, imagine, sense, create. But it's a very receptive energy. All Cups energy is very receptive. It's all about receiving, surrendering, and just allowing things to arrive in their own time. And then this Ten of Swords, this can be a very challenging energy. I would say because it came out upright that you're maybe on this kind of like precipice of like a whole new paradigm. It's just like going to take real relaxation into it to shift into it. Yeah, Spirit doesn't want you to resist all of these changes, but know you are shifting into kind of like a whole new paradigm of like existence, and you're going to have to kind of be okay with the unknown, and trust yourself to get through it. Like you've had you this whole time, you've had your own back. Like trust yourself, because then you can really handle the uncertainty of life. If you are certain that you've got your own back, that's when you can really allow the uncertainty of and chaos of life to unfold. And that's what the cards are asking of you. The yeah, this Hanged One underneath this Four of Swords, this is like double energy of just like really chill, like really just allow. The Hanged One energy is all about, it's like a heavy meditation card. It's like really just like whatever's going on, just like kind of suspend your reality, and just like sit with it. It's really asking you to sit with it. So if you are having this resistance or impatience or insecurity or whatever it might be, like really just sit with it. Like you don't need to necessarily change it. You just need to be bringing that conscious awareness and love to it, understanding where that's coming from, or at least like, if not intellectualizing it, just like feeling maybe some empathy, compassion for yourself, so that you can kind of allow it and still allow yourself to rest and kind of align with all these things that are trying to come in. So we have the Justice clarified by the Two of Swords as well. The Two of Swords, this is a moon in Libra energy, and it's really asking you to use your mind to calm your emotions. So kind of what we were saying before, like you might need to kind of intellectualize some things, to kind of like allow that impatience and insecurity if that's what's coming up for you. It's also like it asks you to, the Two of Swords asks you to try and look at a situation objectively, like, which this Hanged One meditation energy will really help with. If you can kind of like sit with it and like observe and kind of like pull yourself out of it so you're not so up close, so you're not taking things so personally, that will be probably enormously helpful. Because like having that heart-mind alignment kind of goes both ways. Like your heart can bring your mind back into alignment and your mind can bring your heart back into alignment. That's really what the Two of Swords energy is generally doing. It's kind of creating that push-pull with the heart and the mind, to kind of like have this balance of subjectivity and objectivity. Traditionally, this Two of Swords card is drawn with the person blindfolded, which means like look within, don't look without. Like it's a real time to look within and figure out what's going on in your own landscape, what's going on in your heart, what's going on in your mind, and trying to bring some coherence to those two things. The Two of Swords also asks to get rid of anything that drains your energy, anything that's making you confused or indecisive, anything that's like kind of a drama as well. Like this Two of Swords is another kind of like letting things go that doesn't serve you energy. So there might be something that you can do for yourself kind of in the short term when it comes to kind of creating good safe space for yourself. Finally, this Justice card. So this generally deals with laws of mankind. It's heavy Libra energy. Libra rules the 7th house of other contracts, partnerships, like kind of like the practicality of like trying to make things work with, usually with another person, but it can just be within the confines of humanity, in a broader sense. Like the Justice card rules like anything to do with like law and all of the kind of consequences that humanity puts on certain actions. So it's a very heavy relationship marriage card, but it's also a very heavy like kind of slotting into society. And I would say with this card coming out upright, that maybe some of the things that you need to reflect on is maybe some of these like kind of social laws. Perhaps some of these social laws are what's creating this resistance and angst and impatience and insecurity. So yeah, that's something to really like think about and meditate on. So if it feels like maybe you should have a partner already, if it feels like maybe you should have traveled more, if it feels like maybe you should have gotten a higher education or done more personal development, or like had different connections or seen some things through, or like had a different career, like whatever it might be. However this justice card like plays into it, like really just like reflecting on, like, is whatever the story you have about that thing true? Are you sure that it's true? And what would life be like if you could let go of that belief? Because, yeah, it seems like there's some sort of like social something holding you back. And that's what these cards want you to reflect on, and maybe open yourself up to. Like, what else is coming into play here, and what's like, what do you need to let go of? What can you like maybe listen to but change your perspective on it in a way, or like just create more space for things maybe not going to plan, or yeah, just like some more allowances would be nice. That seems like what the card's asking you to do right now. But let's see if there's any final little wisdoms in the oracles. Okay, so it's really important that you trust the process right now. Things might not be coming together maybe how your ego wants, but things coming together how they're supposed to. It's just important that you trust the process, and just like really look after you, nourish yourself, nourish your soul, nourish your life, like enjoy things, like really get into this Four of Cups, Four of Swords energy of like really allowing yourself to rest, and enjoy life, and be grateful for the life that you already have. Like, you don't need any of these things coming in to change your potential for like happiness and gratitude. That's all available to you now. Yes, there's like blessings coming, but that doesn't but it's not like there aren't blessings already here for you at the same time. Yeah, look at the bigger picture. There's things that there's other things at play. There's a bigger picture. There's things going on. Really like get this Hanged Man energy, meditate, and look at the bigger picture, because yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. But yeah, keep coming back to this. What do you need to release? Like, this is the whole vibe of the reading. Like, if there's one card that like sums up the whole reading that we've done, is like, what do you need to release? This is a big time for like really releasing. Trust the process. Trust that whatever you release, like, you're not losing it. You're creating space for the things that you're desiring, drawing towards you, and aligning with. So yeah, is there any final affirmations? So your affirmation is, every day I grow stronger in my mind, body, and spirit. I'm strong and I'm capable. So yeah, trust yourself, back yourself, like you've got you. And that's kind of the most important thing for you to keep in mind moving forward. But I think I'm going to leave this here. Thank you so much for watching this video or watching this reading all the way through. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for being patient with me while I've been kind of sick and on the mend and getting back into doing readings on here. I would love if you can like, comment, and subscribe. That would really help me out. I would really appreciate that. And until I see you again for another reading, ciao. Hey there, pal 2. Welcome to your reading for messages that you might need to hear right now. So if you chose this beautiful, I think, moss agate crystal, then this reading is probably for you. We're going to start with our astrology deck. please find out a little bit about what pile 2 might need to think about or see or change or reframe or whatever it is you want. That was a lot that came out all at once. Very interesting cards to come out together. What else do you have for pile 2, please? So it looks like you guys are doing a lot of healing, especially clearing either this life karma or past life karma. So any karma that you've accumulated in this life, this can be like conditioning, patterning, or anything like that from people in your life, especially from people that you've known since you were a child, and also like past life karma, so karma that's accumulated over multiple lifetimes. It seems like a lot of that is kind of like healing and being transmutated and clearing at the moment. It seems like you're maybe thinking about things on deeper levels as well. So we have the Gemini Sagittarius axis here, and this axis is all about like being able to see polarity, see dualism, and also see deeper than like black and white, not necessarily seeing things as all good or all bad or all like really getting the neutrality of things, and understanding how everything kind of comes down to like essentially your perspective. So you've probably been drawn to this video because you're doing like a lot of work around shifting perspective, reframing things, maybe seeing things from more of a relative framework rather than seeing things in such black and white kind of energies. And it seems like you're probably finding that your like relationships are elevated, like maybe your own personal like abundance, security, sense of luxury is increasing. Like there's a lot more, like your receptive energy is like becoming like really magnetic, based on kind of like all this work that you're doing in the background. So like kind of all of this surface layer shedding of like wounding and past life karma and current life karma is like really making you a much stronger magnet for things in life. There's probably been a lot of deaths and rebirths, like things really needing to close, and probably there's been a period of maybe uncertainty. Pluto can indicate like going beyond the boundaries of the known. So yeah, it's very likely that you're like shifting a lot, and maybe some things are up in the air right now because you no longer have kind of like this pattern to rely on as you're like mapped to move through life. You're kind of like creating a new pattern as you're moving forward now, and you're almost like experiencing life with this like real freshness, like kind of anything's possible, which is like heavy 9th house Sagittarius energy. So like I think it's cool to embrace that. I'm sure there'll be messages coming out about that in more detail. But yeah, it seems like there's been a lot of shedding and a lot of shifting for you. So that's probably what our messages are going to be about. But we'll get some more detail using our traditional tarot. Can we have some more specifics about pile 2 in regards to what they're healing, what they're clearing, what they're transforming? This will be a lot of Sagittarius, Gemini, Taurus, Libra, and Scorpio placements, by the way. Can we have more specifics for pile 2, please? What would you like pile 2 to know or think about? Okay, so it's very likely that you're kind of entering into this new phase of your life where you're really experiencing yourself as a kind of eternal being. The Judgment card in the Rider-Waite deck, this is really about being a eternal being, constantly reincarnating, kind of re-experiencing life with a set of fresh eyes. And so it seems like probably the stuff you're healing, you're probably feeling like it doesn't just belong in this life. It might have kind of been happening to you for multiple lifetimes. So it seems like you're doing like very high order, in-depth healing right now. That's kind of transmuting across multiple lifetimes for you. The Judgment energy as well, this is all about kind of like vibration, the basis of the universe, and this might indicate like shifting vibration, especially shifting into more of a vibration of like kind of love, cosmic consciousness, things like that, especially because it's clarified by the Ten of Swords, which this is the Sun in Gemini energy, and it's generally associated with kind of like starting under a whole new paradigm, especially like mentally and intellectually understanding like how everything's fitting together and understanding how one thing kind of leads to another, and understanding how kind of like all of your past experiences has kind of led to where you are now, including past lives. It's like a real kind of like, this is saying you've got like a really fresh perspective, and you're really moving towards a very integrated sensation of consciousness, like feeling really connected, dropping away a lot of the personality or personal reality, seeing less division, seeing more unity, and kind of like, yeah, really up leveling. The cards would like to tell you to use vibration to your advantage. So that's using healing frequencies, using like chakra sounds to rebalance yourself out anywhere where you're feeling like blocked or stuck, like really using sound right now to help you as you shift into this new layer of consciousness, as you kind of like upgrade from all this current and past life healing that you've been doing. It seems like something else that the cards would like you to kind of like take full advantage of is that it's a really good time for you to be suggesting things to your subconscious. So the Knight of Swords, he's a very like conscious mind, everything that you can like kind of intellectualize, have an opinion about. He's not super connected to the subconscious, to the superconscious, like to the more sensing, feeling, intuitive, spiritual aspect of life. Like he's very much in his logical, maybe more Gemini mind. And it seems like there's opportunity for you to, especially if you do feel like you're quite intelligent, which you kind of getting the vibe that you are, like allowing that to be there, but like making sure that you're connecting with the subconscious, because that's where the kind of higher self hookup exists between the subconscious and the superconscious. It's very difficult to get there through the conscious mind. It's just not built for that. The conscious mind operates with this strength energy as more as like a protector, ego energy, like very much associated with like fight, flight, freeze, fawn responses, so like stress responses. It's like very disconnected from kind of like the bigger picture. So it seems like you're very good at intellectualizing, but maybe there's space for more kind of feeling, intuiting, and using like kind of your own conscious mind to suggest things to your subconscious, especially like before you fall asleep. Like kind of suggesting things that you want your subconscious to kind of like take on and begin pulling towards you and manifesting for you. Or like if you want certain answers that maybe your intellectual mind just like couldn't nut out, asking yourself those questions at night before you fall asleep, during meditation, whenever like the conscious mind defenses are really down, like making that suggestion. The Strength card is really about taking advantage of that opportunity to make suggestion to the subconscious mind, which is why the woman's like whispering in the animal's ears, like a symbol for being able to make suggestions to the subconscious, which is where things kind of like really happen. It's kind of like slightly beyond our awareness, but we really need to kind of like sense and trust and like kind of allow for that process to occur. This is kind of like mirrored in the Temperance card coming out upright. So we've got Gemini and the 9th house, which is the Sagittarius Gemini axis here. The Temperance card, this is ruled by Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is more about letting that intellectual mind kind of like rest and really kind of getting into the vibration of things, especially like kind of getting into kind of passion, faith, kind of inspired action. And this energy came out upright, so it does seem like yeah, the cards are like wanting you to like really lean into that kind of more faith energy, and kind of let go of that intellect a little bit, because yeah, it seems like maybe you've hit a wall, maybe you've exhausted a lot of things in that more intellectual sense, and there's like opportunity for you in the more sensing, intuitive, vibrational sense at the moment. So the Temperance card came out clarified by the 5 of Pentacles. This energy is a Mercury in Taurus, and it's really about shifting things that are like holding you back. It can indicate like sickness, poverty, not necessarily in the physical, though it can indicate that sometimes, but like sometimes it can indicate like more of a lack mindset, I would say, and something that kind of something where you need to make some practical in your life shifts to kind of facilitate change. This card's like kind of tough because it's ruled by a fixed sign Taurus, which is not the best with change. It wants to make very slow and meticulously thought out change. Like once it makes the change, it's just a very stubborn energy, and it's gonna kind of like keep doing what they've been doing. So yeah, potentially there's going to be a little bit of resistance in shifting out of the current kind of overly intellectual approach. But it's kind of like for a higher good. Like you're really up-leveling your vibration, and there's only so much that the Swords energy can kind of do for you, like that mental energy. There's like becomes a point where you have to like really allow the more feminine energy to create a lot of flow in your life, especially because the Empress and Eight of Cups came out clarifying each other. This Empress energy, she's so receptive, she's so go with the flow. She's like the birther of many things. She's like the multiplier of life. So whatever you give her, she will amplify. So like really giving her that flow, that rest, that release, surrender, like especially embracing like very Venus-y kind of energies. So like pleasure, luxury, like really enjoying your life, enjoying your time, and like getting a little bit out of your head and into your heart. I would say it's kind of the vibe. The Eight of Cups that is clarifying it, this is a Saturn in Pisces, and this is another energy kind of suggesting some sort of moving on from the past. So potentially I would hazard a guess that this has more to do with moving on from the past in terms of like healing and karma, just because Saturn is involved and Saturn is very karmic. So yeah, there may be this kind of like need to shift out of the intellect, out of the doing, out of the focus on the physical, and like really shifting into the heart, shifting into joy, flow, intuition, sensing, faith, and like real presence, and just like enjoying life as much as possible. This might even like be asking you to loosen your grip on spiritual work. Like I would say that this is asking you to be embracing more spiritual play, if anything. It seems like you've kind of like done enough work in a lot of senses, and it's time to like, yeah, like really lean into that play. I would say eventually you'll need to kind of like find this balance between work and play, like knowing how to balance essentially that Gemini Sagittarius axis. Sagittarius is very play, Gemini is kind of like more work orientated, I would say. So yeah, these two cards clarifying each other, the Four of Wands and Six of Wands, this is a big like kind of victorious balance, recognition, energy. It's kind of like really it's a big kind of like being able to shift and move forward. It's Jupiter and Leo energy, so like it's definitely about moving outside the comfort zone, moving forward, having confidence in yourself, being able to rely on yourself, and like it's kind of like asking you to like embrace the shine within, like the sunshine within, essentially. And the Four of Wands is a big kind of marriage energy. This might be a physical marriage, but I would say in this context, it's more like asking you to marry this Gemini Sagittarius axis. So like really bring together the more maybe intellectual, able to do the spiritual work kind of energy within yourself, and then also the play. And that's not to say that like you don't have experience in the play. I think just like right now you might be more in the intellectual side, and these cards are essentially asking for just like a better gelling, like a better marriage between the two, more balance, more embracing the two polarities and understanding what the two can offer you, but being able to come to some sort of like middle ground, essentially. That's what it seems like. But do we have any final messages from the oracles? Wisdom. So you're obviously going through a big shift in your consciousness. You're probably just like glowing up a lot more wise as well. Expect things to come into fruition, especially anything that you've been manifesting, especially when you start to embrace this like suggestion to the subconscious energy. Like that will really help speed drawing things in. But yeah, it's definitely a new time, new beginning. Like you're shifting into a new paradigm when it comes to your own like consciousness. We've got 222. So that might indicate a relationship, or at least like integration of some kind. This could be the marriage between kind of work and play that we've been talking about. Is there anything else for pile 2, please? Yeah, the energy is gaining momentum. So you're probably sent here because things are like already well on their way. Just maybe you just needed to have some things clarified, so that you can kind of like get clear on like what's happening and like how to work with the energy the best possible. Make sure you don't let pride get in the way. So this is definitely this Knight of Swords strength card in reverse. Like these two energies in particular can be very prideful. So like really relaxing, letting the conscious mind go a little bit, like really embracing that kind of like more inner self energy. There has been a fair bit of Leo-ish energy in the spread too. So like, yeah, maybe thinking about how you can balance those two Leo oppositions in terms of like pridefulness and then like creativity, joy, pleasure, play, and like kind of making them all work together. And yeah, meditate and contemplate. It seems like there's probably more messages for you individually that will probably come in after some of this has kind of like been clarified, so that yeah, like hopefully this kind of like clarified things, put things into perspective, so that you are like a little bit more open to your own individual kind of extra messages that might need to come through in meditation moving forward, to support you with this shift. So in terms of final affirmations, we have compassion naturally flows from the heart of my inner being, and I radiate love, and my heart is open to receive the love that I deserve. These are like very empressy, like pleasure play kind of energies. So yeah, it seems like Spirit's definitely asking for you to embrace those energies and play with those right now. So yeah, I think I'm going to leave this here. I feel like that feels like enough to kind of take away. I hope you got everything out of this reading that you really wanted or needed right now. It's been a pleasure reading for you. I would love if you can like, comment, and subscribe to support me on this channel. And yeah, until I see you again, ciao. Hey there, pile 3. If you chose this beautiful crystal, then this reading is probably for you, but just using your intuition and discernment to know what's for you, what's not for you, and what might need to be adjusted based on your particular circumstance. But yeah, let's get some Messages. What does pile 3 need to know or think about or reframe or change their perspective on? What messages do you have for pile 3, please? What messages do you have for pile 3, please? Okay, so you guys have probably been going through some big shifts, especially in your like lifestyle, daily routine, anything especially to do with like health, work, service, pets, like anything like very family, what you do every day orientated. Like things have really been shifting for you. There may be some things, especially in your unconscious, that have kind of like been shifting, unlocking, releasing, kind of like allowing you to change some things in your very everyday life. There's potentially been some current life and past life karma that's been released, especially anything that was either created or kind of solidified that had to do with the conditioning that you experienced in your family home, especially as a child. Yeah, I'm seeing like a lot of like maybe abundance, love, security, luxury, maybe partnerships, all kind of coming into you. Like that's what it seems like you're magnetizing at the moment, based on all these shifts that are happening. And it's very likely that you're experiencing big upgrades in your intuition, psychic abilities, like ability to like sense, feel, maybe like you're more empathetic, you're more compassionate, you're more understanding, you feel more connected, maybe you have a better sense of community. Like there's a lot shifting for you at the moment. But let's see what Spirit wants you to know about these shifts. What do you want pile 3 to know about what's shifting for them, please? What? What do you want? What do you want pile 3 to know? Please. Okay, so one of the big things that tower moments are known for is kind of loosening our grip on the material, and really starting to shift more towards a more like soulful, conscious, like more of like a unity mindset, and just like letting go of a lot of kind of surface level intellect, letting go of a lot of obsession about material possessions, and kind of like really getting back down to our true nature, our true desire, kind of like a true self. So it seems like there was potentially some sort of tower moment in your not so recent past that it's actually creating like this big channel for things to shift in the physical. So we've got a lot of pentacles here, and we've also got the Ace of Pentacles. So this tells me that things are coming to you in material form, essentially because there's been some sort of like letting go with the material stuff. Like I would say that you're appreciating the soul in material things rather than the material possession as an object. Like that seems like the shift here. And it's actually like creating this really magnetic sense of abundance where things are going to be able to flow to you in a much easier sense. Because there's definitely been this release. Like there's definitely been this kind of like stirring up of things, release, reinvention, just like letting go a lot of past patterns, and kind of like experiencing things with much more like reverence, appreciation, and understanding that like anything that materializes in the physical, the real value of that is not it as an object, but the soul that went into that materialization, that manifestation, like the desire and like all of this like really empressy energy of like pleasure, luxury, play, like enjoying life, enjoying what life has to offer. Like that seems to be this big shift here. We have like just like a lot of peak energies and a lot of major arcana, so it seems like this is like there's a lot of energy here. It's very big. Like very like, oh, like I just feel so much like kind of like abundance here. The Ten of Pentacles is essentially like all your dreams coming true, like feeling financially like secure, stable, like having the lifestyle you want, having the like family, career, success, like all of the things. The Ten of Pentacles energy is like enjoy it, like enjoy things manifested in the physical in a tangible form, like really enjoy that. The only two energies we have in reverse is the Knight of Pentacles and the Emperor. They're both masculine energies, but the Knight of Pentacles is a very immature masculine that might be too focused on material things. So that coming out in reverse is actually a good sign to me that, yeah, like you're just on a different level when it comes to appreciating the world as it manifests physically. Like you're really appreciating the soul behind it. And I would say a lot of what you're appreciating is maybe not intellectual, it's not of the conscious mind. Emperor energy is very associated with like structure, form, the conscious mind, like very practical energy, but it seems like you're really enjoying the like vibration, play, pleasure of things. The Hierophant is also like kind of like this sacred knowledge holder. So yeah, it seems like there's some sort of like sacred awakening, some sort of like deeper knowing, deeper wisdom when it comes to your manifestations. That's like really allowing you to enjoy them on a whole new level. What the cards would like you to know is that as you've opened up this channel to more abundance, more success, like all of your dreams essentially, like just be prepared for things to come up as things start to flow to you. The King of Pentacles he's very modest, humble, disciplined, like, and like kind of has their grip on reality. Very secure, very stable, like very dependable. So there might need to be this pulling of that energy within you to kind of like essentially deal with everything that's like trying to flow into you right now. Yeah, like really concentrate on grounding yourself and staying grounded as things start to shift in the physical. And it seems like something that you might need to like try and stay connected with is like a sense of like generosity, empathy, like really like there's going to be a lot flowing to you, but it seems important that whatever you get, it needs to be kind of distributed back out at the same time, like finding that balance of allowing things to flow to you and then finding ways to like share your own abundance, your own joy with others. It seems to be very important. Six of Pentacles is also a generous card, so it seems like there's like this sense of like you're going to need to take care of your people, and you're kind of like this, you're part of the flow of what's happening with all of this kind of like success and abundance. Like it's not necessarily gonna start and end with you. Like it seems like you're part of a bigger picture in some sense. So kind of like allowing yourself to be the cog in the machine. We have the Seven of Wands that came out right in the middle. This energy can be a little bit defensive. It can be a little bit competitive. It's a Mars in Leo energy, so you've got a very like masculine, sometimes selfish planet, also with a potentially prideful masculine sign. So just choosing your battles really wisely, preparing for maybe some difficult choices, or just preparing for your own ego to potentially come up. Whenever the Seven of Wands comes out, like you're just like really just mindful of not being motivated by the ego, like trying to stay in your heart, which is what Leo wants. The Seven of Wands, like on its best day, like it's really staying in your heart, not being swayed by your ego. Choosing your battles very wisely and just like trying to follow spirit's inspiration rather than your own kind of personal agendas, like allowing yourself to be part of a bigger picture. So yeah, it seems like there's lots of things that want to flow to you and through you. But yeah, like it's important not to get too carried away with that, like really staying in your groundedness, staying in your compassion, staying in your empathy. Like it's just going to be staying in your heart. It's going to be so important. For some reason, there's probably, I'm sensing probably temptation is going to come into play here. Yeah, so you might need to be a little bit resilient as things are like kind of flowing to you and through you, because yeah, there might be space for even your own inner demons to come up, your own inner darkness, like your own feelings of insecurity, lack, poverty, whatever it might be. The Tower card does talk about kind of rude awakenings, like kind of shocks that need to happen to shift things, especially in your like unconscious and like the depths of your kind of shadow. So yeah, it seems like some things are going to go down to do with things that are manifesting in the physical that you just like really need to stay heart-centered for to kind of like overcome. Okay, so the end of a tough cycle approaches. So if you still feel like you're in your kind of more tower moment, know that it's coming to a close. Okay, so there may be some necessity for communication, especially with others, and for maybe making some practical plans. And just like this full moon in Taurus energy, this is again like asking you to be secure, stable, like grounded. Like I would say like this communication is key. Is also just like don't put all of this on yourself at the same time. The Emperor he rules by kind of sitting out on his own, and he puts the real weight of his rulership on himself. But I think this coming out in reverse is really telling you to like rely on your people, like stay connected, to kind of deal with this in a community sense. So yeah, as things start to shift in the physical, like know who's in your corner, know who's got your back, and like work with those people, and know that you can rely on them. Is there any final affirmations that you would like to end with, please? So any final affirmations that you'd like to leave with pile 3, please? So we have, I'm filled with creative energy and I'm ready to manifest. Yeah, I feel like that kind of sums up what we've been talking about in this reading, like, really well. There is so much creative energy, so much kind of like in the pipeline in terms of manifesting here. So yeah, like embrace it, especially if you're still kind of like in your more towerish moment. Like, know that like you're creating this huge channel for things to flow towards you, flow to you and through you. So yeah, like really embracing that energy. Hopefully you haven't got too scared by this reading. It's just, this reading's really just like asking you to be mindful throughout the process. Rely on your people, stay grounded, stay in your heart. And yeah, like allow things to unfold in a kind of different way than maybe they have in the past. And yeah, like really celebrate all of that, like kind of deserving energy that you have for all of this abundance too. But yeah, I think I'm going to leave that here. I feel like that's enough to kind of like take away for the day. It has been a pleasure reading for you. I would love if you could like, comment, and subscribe. That would really help me out. And I would really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for making it all the way through this reading. Until I see you again, ciao.